Hello and welcome. I'm hopefully going to show you how to make these beautiful cards that I did for a team event last weekend. So I'm just going to wait a few moments just so that some of you can join me. And so that I can make sure that everything is ready. Hi Monica, thank you for joining. Lovely to see you. So I'm just going to wait just a little while longer just to see if anybody else will be joining us straight away. If not, hopefully some more will come as we go through it. How are you? Have you had a nice day in the sun? Oh, thank you, Monica. So these are the cards that I created for our team event last weekend. I actually chose to do them all in different colours. So I did 4 different colours. I have one of the 3 colours left. So I've got this one, which was crumb cake. Then we've got mint macaron. And then we've got just caught my camera, sorry about that. And then we've got one of the new in colours, which is Grapefruit Grove. Let me just line this back up again. There we go. So I did those 3 colours, and I also did one set in Blackberry Bliss. And turns out that was the most popular colour because I didn't have any of those left at the end of the day. It was hot, wasn't it, Monica? I love the sun though. Can't complain about the heat when it's so beautiful. Makes a change for us in England, doesn't it? Okay, so what I've used for these cards to make them, I've just used one stamp set, which is actually a double stamp set. So that is the Rooted in Nature stamp set. I've got this in Claremont. Some wonderful stamps in here, so many different ideas that you can use them for, and you've got some very, very detailed leaves, which is what we'll be using today, and some lovely trees suitable for all occasions. So they look like they could be Christmas trees, so you could have Christmas on there, autumn or spring, all sorts of different seasonal items. Some great sentiments on here as well. I do love the Be Strong, Be Happy, Be You. I really like that one. I haven't used that one yet, but it's on my to-do list along with everything else. So some great stamps there. Also, they make great backgrounds, they make great focus points, and you get all of those stamps in one set. This set is available in Woodmount and Claremont, and you can find that on page 143 of our new catalogue. If you would like a catalogue and you haven't already got one, please do get in touch and I'll be able to get one sent out for you. So that's the stamp set that we'll be using. I'm using the small leaf for the cards, and I'm using this leaf pattern here just for the down the side. And then I will be using these 2 sentiments at the top. Words are never enough to thank you for all you do. I thought it's always great to have a thank you card and to have a slightly different one. So that's the stamp set that we'll be using today. We'll also be using the Stamparatus tool, which is a brand new stamp positioning tool from Stampin' Up. You can find that on page 207 of your new annual catalogue. And I cannot sing its praises enough. It makes bulk cards so much easier and quicker to make, and it also means that you can see exactly where you're going to be lining up your stamps. So here we have the Stamparatus, or Stamposaurus as people call it, because that's a much better name for it. It does look a little bit like a dinosaur. but it is a really great tool to use. I've hardly actually used blocks since I've had this because it's just perfect alignment, and if you need to stamp again you can really easily. So I'm going to put that one up there in a second. So I'm going to start straight away. First thing I'm going to do is actually I'm going to do the stamping down the side and the greetings. If I can remember where I lined them up, this is. So we'll find out. Okay, so for this I'm actually going to line my card up. I'm actually lining it up across. Move the camera. Hi Beth, great to see you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so I would normally line it up across the top along the straight edge of the side of the Stamparatus. But for this one, because I'd lined it up when I originally made it for the flowers in the middle, and then lined up all my stamps on the plate, I've actually lined it up using this straight line at the bottom along the ruler. So I'm going to start here. Start with the sentiments. Okay, so that's my magnet just holding that in place, so that's not going to go anywhere when I start stamping. I've got my sentiments already lined up where I want them. I don't know if you can see on here, on the plate there are grid lines. You can just about make them out. So I've actually lined it up so that it is along one of those straight lines, so that I know it is straight when I stamp it onto the card. And for this I'm going to use the new Blackberry Bliss ink pad. I'm just going to ink up my sentiments. And then dropped it, but that's okay. We won't panic yet. So I'm just going to put a gentle pressure on there just to make sure it's evenly stamped. And there you have it. They have stamped fine. And if I just want to make sure, I can just go over that again, just so that it's a bit more even coverage. So that's our sentiment done already. I'm just going to clean those off so I don't get ink everywhere when I turn it around. That's using our new Simply Chamois, which I absolutely love and makes life so much easier. Right, so I've just turned around my plate and I'm now using the, if you can see it, the leaf, the larger leaf section on there. For this one I am going to stamp it in mint macaron. Now this is a bit of an exciting section because we're actually going to show you how to do. What did I use with the chamois to clean, Monica? I literally just wet it with cold water. It's covered in ink now, but it's just cold water out of the tap, nothing special. Just wipe off your stamps and it just cleans off that ink straight away. So there's no ink there that's going to get on your fingers or get all over your paper where you don't want it. It will still get on your fingers a little bit, but it cleans your stamps perfectly. And it does wash as well, so you can put it in the washing machine, I believe, and it will come out a little bit, but it doesn't do any harm with the ink on there. Okay, so again, for this I've lined up where I want my stamp to be on my card, and I'm just going to find a scrap of paper just to put underneath it so that I don't get it all over the back of the Stamparatus plate. Okay, so I'm going to line that up at the top just so that it overhangs a little bit, and I'm going to ink that up in mint macaron. What was that, Beth? How have you not noticed those grid lines? They're very, very faint, but you can see them, and they do mean that you can line up your stamps perfectly for when you want them in a straight line, or if you want to line them up so with a certain distance between them. They are really helpful. Okay, so I've inked that up. I'm just going to stamp that down. And then, let me find the other one. Okay, so I've actually done the same stamp, but I've moved it down each time so that it is evenly spaced each time I've stamped it. Now to do that, you'll notice on the Stamparatus there's these hinges. Now they are about an inch, just over an inch I think we worked out distance between each hinge. So if you've got any stamps that are an inch tall, then they would work perfectly for this technique. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lift out our plate, move it down one hinge, ink up the stamp again, and then stamp. So that then lines it up exactly where you want it. It's also exactly the same distance into your card because it is exactly where you'd lined it up originally. It's just moved one step down. And then we're going to keep doing that until we get all the way to the bottom of our card. So there you have it. And just wiping off my ink off my stamp so that it won't go everywhere. So that's the card base. So I can take that out now. You'll see just the stem of the leaf down my scrap paper, which is why I needed that there so it didn't get on the pad itself. So that's my card blank background. So that's all ready for the image to go on. So now we want to do the flower using the small leaf. So I think I've set it up for this one. Okay, so for this, I actually got this idea from Ruth at Artful Stampin'. She did a video on YouTube, which you'll be able to find, which shows you how to create a Kaleidoscope template for your Stamparatus so that you can do a circle of the same stamp so it goes around a circle like a wreath. So that's actually what I was trying to do with this leaf, only I didn't line it up in the right direction, and I ended up with this flower. So I was actually quite impressed and thought that would be perfect. So for this I am using, on the other pad plate, I've got the small leaf from the stamp set there. So all we've done for the template is we've drawn around a 3-inch square, and then we've turned it so it's diagonal, drawn around it again so you've got that star shape, and then you will see how we use that to create the flower. So I've got my leaf roughly in the centre of my card, pointing towards one of the corners, and I'm going to ink that up in Blackberry Bliss for this one. a happy accident, definitely a happy accident. I'll have to try it again to get the wreath effect, but for now I am creating flowers left, right and centre using leaves. So we're just going to stamp that down, and there you have a leaf. So what we want to do now is we just want to turn the card just onto the diagonal like so. Put my magnet back, and then we're going to ink the stamp up again, and we're going to just bring that over and stamp again. So you'll see it overlaps ever so slightly, and all we're going to do is keep going round so it's just a case of move your card round one, ink it up, stamp it down and continue. Hi Emily, nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're well. Welcome to the joys of Stampin' Up and my creative hobby. So as you start going round, it starts to give you this overlapping effect. I'm doing this quite slowly because my hands are shaking. But once you've done it a few times, you kind of get the hang of it, which is why you can create so many so easily. Gosh, these magnets are so strong. You wouldn't think I've got my glasses on. I keep banging my head on the camera holder. Never mind. Okay, so we've now just got the one left, which will finish off that flower for us. So there you have it. That is our little flower. And you'll just about see that it's actually created this little hole in the middle. It's so detailed, it really does just look like a spirograph. Much better to watch than the football. Definitely, I agree with that, although I have got the football on in the background because my other half is sat watching it. He's now waving. I did tell him though that you can't have the sound on. So he's watching it in silence, which is the best way to watch football in my opinion. But anyway, there you go. So that is our flower using that leaf from the Rooted in Nature stamp set. Now what I did to finish off my set, let's see if I've got one. I actually used a rhinestone on the ones that I did before, so I've just got that little rhinestones in the middle. But I'll be honest, I don't know where I've put them, so what I'm going to use instead is the Share What You Love Artisan Pearls, which are a brand new set of pearls from our catalogue. Now I'm going to use the mint macaron one just so that it matches down the side of the card. Let me open those up. So I'm just going to put a mint macaron pearl just in the middle there, which I don't know if you can see the colours, but I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so move this out of the way. So we have card blank, flower, and then I've actually cut a square of the Blackberry Bliss cardstock just to layer up, just so that it makes that pop out. And all I am going to do, honestly, you get your glues out ready and you can't find them, they're right under my nose. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of there, line it up on my card, try and get it straight, there we go. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals on the back just so that it pops it up off the card as well. And then I'm just going to line that up on there using the grid on my Stamparatus, just so that I can get that roughly straight and stick that down. So there you have one finished card. I'm going to I had an idea last night that we could try and make this into a poinsettia flower for Christmas. So it looks great as a flower in any colour, so I'll bring those ones back in. So these ones were on Very Vanilla, and this one is actually on Whisper White, that's why you can see a little bit of a contrast there. So there you have, they'd make a wonderful set of cards for as a gift, or if you wanted to make a lot of the same card, so that you have them on hand. You could change the sentiments up, you can do them in all sorts of different colours, so you can do them in someone's favourite colour. It would work really well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to redo this for anybody who's just joined, and I'm going to try and make it into a poinsettia flower. So I did try this last night and it kind of worked, so we'll see if I can do it a little bit better. Right, so I'm going to bring back in my template, put that down. So to do this, I've just used a square card that is 3 inches square. And we're just going to line that up into the middle. I'm just going to clean off my stamp. I'm going to change colour. Just drying out a little bit. Okay, so for this one I'm going to use Poppy Parade, which is again another of our new colours for this year, and I'm just going to ink up my stamp. So it's exactly the same as I did before, where you just turn it, ink, and stamp. So I'm going to try and be a little bit quicker when I do this one. Can't line it up now I've said that. Hi Carly, thank you for joining me, I hope you're well. Great to see you. Oh, I didn't turn my card, got distracted. So each time I'm just making sure that my template stays in that corner, just so that I know it is exactly lined up for where I want the leaf to stamp. So you see, when you get the hang of it, it really is a lot quicker to create. So easy, no faffing about trying to line the stamps up. Literally, once you know it's in the right place, you just stamp and go. So there we have a red one. So that is our red poinsettia flower. Now what I'm going to do, last night when I tried this, I actually did it on a post-it note first. So I then fussy cut for just 3 of the leaves, just so that I could use it as a template. Now I've just noticed that one doesn't seem as dark as the others, so I'm just going to turn that around and do it once more before I move on to the green leaves. There we go, that's a bit better. So that's actually lined up perfectly from where I had my stamp before. So what I'm going to do now is on the outside, I'm going to use the other side of my plate with the larger leaf. I'm going to use my post-it note mask, which if you have the frames you can actually cut out some of the leaves and lay them over the top of your card exactly, which I can't remember where my tab is, which would probably make it a little bit easier actually as well. So for this I'm using the shaded spruce colour for the leaves, which is a gorgeous green. So just ink that up. Helps if I actually put it where it's going to stamp first time, which is, I think, here. Try that again. So there you have the green leaf behind the red flower. Okay, I don't know if I just disconnected then or not, but hopefully I'm still live. Let's see what happens. So we're going to move that round 1, and we're going to move our mask so that it just goes over the next of the flower leaves, and we're just going to ink up again, stamp, and we're going to repeat. So my mask isn't exact because it's only one part of the flower that we've done, but it's enough that it will cover the red so that it doesn't kind of go over the red, so that you don't get that beautiful bright colour shining through. Just got 2 more to do, and then it looks like it's coming together quite well. last one. And there you have, when I take off my mask, there you have a poinsettia, perfect for Christmas. And again, you could put a little pearl in the middle. So this is again from the Artisan Share What You Love pearls. So there you have a poinsettia flower using the masking technique and the Kaleidoscope for the Stamparatus. So I would mount that maybe on a poppy parade background, and it would make a perfect Christmas card. All you would need to do is change up your sentiment to suit. So there you have it. That is how I made all of my swaps for our team training, and how I created a poinsettia for Christmas. What do you think to those? Do you have a Stamparatus? Would you like one? Get in touch with me if you do. Really simple creation to make with a leaf. Something that you don't immediately think of using a leaf stamp for to create a flower, but it would be perfect for all occasions, all year round, depending what colour you use. Depending what sentiment you use, any kind of card, just something different. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if I move all of these out of my way, you can shop with me online. Here is my website that is available 24/7 for you, and if you place an order online, if you use the hostess code, which you can see there, I will actually send you a little thank you from me, as well as your goodies. So if you have any questions, do get in touch, and I hope to see you in a couple of weeks for the next Facebook Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Take care. Bye.